Hi guys, and welcome back here to the Dev Realm, and today we're going to be carrying on our inventory series. And what I would like to do here today is that I would like to basically implement the item split feature as a new drop down item here. So without wasting too much time, let's get that started. So what I created here is that I have this new window here that you guys probably notice. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this to put, let's say, the item here, a button on the right and on the left with the quantity on the center saying add or remove, and that's pretty much what I am going to do. All right. So without wasting too much time, let's jump. So the first thing we're going to select this window. We're going to hold here Control Shift and E. We're going to export it. The DPI, that's fine. We are gonna go basically here on that. I'm gonna go to the library, sorry, this PC, no, library. I'm gonna export to a folder what I know, which is downloads. I'm gonna go back to the tutorial, MMO master, yeah, this one, the tutorial, and I am gonna save, I'm gonna create a new folder here. And this folder I am gonna call the split, and then within the split I'm just gonna basically call background, right? And I'm gonna press save. Nice. Now if you notice on that folder, if you're opening this for the first time, you probably already have the item, but we got this window here that we can use it. Now I'm just going to copy this, I'm just going to drag and drop to Unreal, right? So we're going to go back here to texture. We're going to basically go to widgets. We're going to right click and create a new folder called split. And then within the split, what we need to do is just drag and drop this right here. And that's it. Nice. So now the next thing we have to do is basically we need to create the widget itself. So we're going to go back here to the master inventory. We're going to go back here to the widget, and let's start to scope out the widget. So I'm going to create a new folder called split, right? And then within the split, I'm going to add background, right? Background, also a WBP widget. We're going to call this WBP item split. Split. Oh, I had 2S, not 2S, just normal here. We're gonna open up. And now what we're gonna do here is that we're gonna add a canvas. Canvas. And then within the canvas, I wanna add a border, right? Which is gonna be my item background. I'm gonna align this border in the middle of it. Well, so the alignment is 0.5 to 0.5. I'm not entirely sure the size of it. So let's just go back here to the texture. Well, what we can search here is for this split. We just call background. So let's just rename this to be called T-split background. So we know what it is. Nice. So now let's try maybe a size to content. Okay, size to content wasn't really good. Let's just try to make, I don't know, like a decent size, you know, like something. Maybe 600 by 500. That doesn't look too bad. It looks quite cool. Now we can align this exactly on the center of the screen, right? Now, what we're gonna add here is first we're gonna add a vertical box. And then within the vertical box, we're gonna add a horizontal box, right? Horizontal box, which is fine. Now, this horizontal box, so first of all, everything will have a padding of, let's say, 10 first. So everything is a bit, actually more. We need 50. Okay, maybe. Okay, that's fine. That's not too bad. Now we're gonna search for the WBP slot item, And we're gonna add the slot right here, and we're gonna make sure this item is marked as fill. And we also gonna make sure this is also make sure it's fill, but we want to make sure it fills on the auto, right? Now on the vertical box, I would like to add some padding top, maybe on this just like something maybe like 50, just something that, you know, the item stays right here. Now what we need to do here is that we need a new horizontal box, so a horizontal box. Now the question is, do we have a button that we can use? We have buttons, but there are no widgets. They're just the texture. So I'm just gonna go here. We do have like title, windows, and all that stuff, but we don't necessarily have a button. I mean, you don't need one. It's just it would be nice to have a button ready to use. Anyway, so this new horizontal box, fill. Actually, let's find auto. That's good. So I'm just gonna scope out first. I'm gonna add here a button. There. And I'm gonna add a text. Then the text here would be, let's say a plus button. And then we're gonna call this add btn, duplicate, and we're gonna call this remove btn. And here, as you can probably imagine, just a minus. Now for the text, we do want to use the Cambria, and I'm just gonna maybe just leave a different color, something like that for now. For now it's fine. And now we're gonna add text right on the center of this. So I'm just gonna add maybe here, right? So we're just gonna add a text right here. Well, to be honest, I want to make sure. So this is gonna go here, and the text right there. Okay, add, and then remove the text in the center. I'm gonna align this, on the center. I mean, that actually looks quite good. Now from the button, I would like to add maybe padding of, let's say 10 from this, and here will be like, you know, plus just 5 or something. I don't know. It's gonna be the number of the how many items you add in there. To be honest, instead of filling up, we can make it auto. The content always in the middle. No, fill vertical. No, actually, no, let's leave it the way it was. Fill, yeah. Like that, yeah, okay. Okay, that's fine. That's okay. Now, what we need to do here is I just would like to style this button. I'm pretty sure I already have a button that I did somewhere. Maybe that, inventory, split, item info. This is where having a UI library, it would help us. So because I don't have to keep copy and pasting all the time. But to be honest, like, this is a button. And what we can do here is that we can use this function, right, of the button that's ready. So I'm going to copy the button here, copy that guy, go back to the item quantity, and then I'm just going to paste it. And then I'm just going to add it right here, right? And I'm just going to call this plus, right? And I'm just going to delete the add button, and I'm just going to call this add btn. Copy and paste, and then I'm just gonna call this remove btn, and then that's right, remove btn new. I'm just gonna call new for now, and then I'll rename it minus, and then I'll add that text right in the center. There we go, and then I delete the last side. That's it. That's all we're gonna do. Cool. As you can see, very simple UI. Nothing super hard. Here's just a simple UI. Now all this text, I would like to change their color to something that looks a bit nicer, or maybe this is the tint. What I would like, doesn't look like I can control. Maybe I could do that. Yeah, I can do that here. Nice. Okay, just gonna give it this color here. All right, guys. So now we need to do logic to add the item, right? So the first thing is that we need to mark this button as usable. This one as well is usable. And we need to go back to the graph. And here we're going to need a couple of things. So the first thing that we need here is that we need the inventory reference. So as usual, as you guys know, we need the inventory reference. So we're going to call this inventory widget ref. And this is going to be called the B. So .bp inventory. Now it's not called inventory, is it? I think we call base inventory. That's the one we're looking for. Yeah. Make sure that's public, and also make sure that you expose that on spawn. And now we need to add the item itself. So the item, right? This is going to be a st item. I think it's this slot, because we do add a slot, if I remember correctly. Now, when we construct, right, this thing, we need to get this item here. And we need to basically call, maybe we have the API load item, right? And we do add the item right here, which is good. So that's it. Then the next thing we need to do here is that what's the quantity that we would like to split. So this is going to be quantity split. Make sure it's a variable. Go back, and we just need to set a text, right? And the text that we need to set here is just that we need to break this, and we need to get we need to break that, and we need to get the quantity of the item that we're trying to split, right? Okay, now let's work out the quantity. So this is also quantity to split, right? Split. And yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool. Now we need to do the plus, the remove and the add button. So here what we're going to do is that every time you click on this button, we need to increase the quantity, and every time you click on the remove, or decrease in this case, not remove, but it should be decrease, we of course decrease the quantity, right? So the quantity to split. Now what we do is that every time you press, you're gonna basically do a plus, right? Or in this case here, you do increment, right? But there's a catch. The catch is that the quantity can never go beyond the current slot item. So we need to create a branch. And basically, if this quantity, in this way, if this is greater or equal than whatever the quantity of the item itself, I'm just going to copy this because the node's already pre-made for me. So I'm just going to paste it here, just being a little lazy. So I'm going to plug this value right here. So if the quantity is greater or equal than that, then what you're going to do is that the quantity to split needs to be basically set to the quantity here, right? So if the quantity is greater or equal than that, then this is just to avoid so the quantity goes beyond the value. Otherwise, we don't care the value, of course, right? Then the next one that we need to do here is that on the decrement, we need similar logic, right? I'm literally gonna copy this whole data. I'm just gonna paste it right here, but I'm gonna do something different. So the first thing is that, of course, is gonna be 1. But what we need to do here is that this decrement, of course, right? We need to decrement value. And this is if this value is less or equal than 0, then the value should be set to 1. Otherwise, we carry on with the data, right? Otherwise, nothing happened. Now, the next thing I would like to do here is just create a custom event called API reload, update counter. And then the counter here is this, the quantity. just need to basically set text, right? And now we need to do something that is just literally put the item that we want to split right here. And then we update the counter. That's it. So all we gotta do, counter, everything is updated. So update the item counter. All right. Now we can compile and save this information. So I think everything is done here from the slot. The only thing we need to do left is, I would say that we just need to copy this button, copy that, go to the vertical box and paste it. And in here, is it inside the vertical box? It should be, no? Anyway, I'm just gonna put it right here, and then we're gonna put this one right there. Well, instead of saying decrease, we're just gonna call this confirm, right? Or in this case, we can say something like split. Oh, split or confirm, right? Confirm is better. Maybe it can be like a green color. It doesn't matter how you want to call this button. Does not matter. Now this button here is gonna be called confirm. Let's make sure it is set to something like that. Yeah, that looks quite good. Now, I would say, do we have any padding from here? We don't know. I have padding. Maybe like, to be honest, like that looks better. On the vertical box, you click this button, and then what we gotta do here is that we just set the padding of this top. Maybe it's a 0. No, that's fine. 50. But this one here, maybe top. What happens if we put 0? There we go. Doesn't look too bad. I think it looks quite compact. Anyway, feel free to update this to whatever you want. I think this looks quite good. Doesn't look too crowded. I would say even the window could be a little bit smaller. Something like, maybe something like that, you know? Yeah, that looks quite good. So we can leave it to 350 to 300. And then in the position, we do make sure 0 and then 0. Yeah, so now that we have all this information set up properly, we need to basically do the confirm logic, right? So the confirm logic will be just the event of call event. And what we need to do here is that we gonna create here event called ev-split item. And then the inputs will be two things. So the quantity, and then of course the item. We could pass the item ID, but I would say, sorry, slot item. That's what we have to call. And this is gonna be the integer. And then we can call this event, right? And now we can just plug the item itself, and we can plug the quantity to split. This completes the widget. And then in the next video, we carry on with the logic on the inventory. And then I think that's it. So once again, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I see you in the next one.